All right, so it's November the 8th. I forgot to do a little video yesterday, so I'll do one early this morning. Let's look at the SPY real quick. We had a nice little bounce, as suspected, and we moved higher. So that's a little, well, it was what was predicted, but to be honest, now it's looking quite strange. I mean, the idea of going higher, breaking out above that pre-Powell sort of flush on the Fed announcement of 75 basis points. That looks like what's in store, at least a test of it. I think it's very strange that we can actually break out of that because I think we're going to be holding rates high for a long time. I don't see how the stock market can keep going up. So I mean, economy included, the economy should just completely collapse in the next couple of months. So I mean, who knows? We go higher if we do break out of this. I mean, we still got to break out of 390 on the SPY. Then we still got to get to the upper range here of the sort of longer term descending line. But let's see if we test this. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I still think long term we go down. So anyway, let's see. So far we've sort of bounced well since that doji. Yesterday's move we were sideways, and then today we went a bit higher. So that's interesting. Now the SPY is sort of doing okay. The Nasdaq is weaker. I mean, look at that; it's still struggling at the double bottom. So that has a long way to go, and it's going to get a lot of resistance here. I think the move to about 28, whatever you want to call it, 283 on the Nasdaq is equivalent to the SPY going up here. I'm not even going to do the percentage moves because I mean, those are the next major resistance points. The Dow Jones, though, I mean, it's already taking out almost, today. It's going to take out its next move at, its next resistance at 33,000 and whatever. And then we're right up at the long-term descending line. So if you think about it, we're reaching today. I mean, even if the markets are sort of looking weak, it's going to test it anyway. We're at two trend lines, this one up here and this one there. And a breakout will take us to 34,000. And I think 34,000 in Dow Jones will be the same as the Nasdaq being all the way up here at 284 and the SPY being all the way up here. But still extremely impressive. It's obviously a shift from what is it, from growth to value, right? From all these momentum tech stocks to more energy dividends, sort of more conservative stocks, let's say, which makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is the fact that it's so strong. I mean, in my opinion, we should be down here, kind of Nasdaq style, with maybe the Dow Jones be a bit stronger. So that's an anomaly to me. I know that everyone's looking into the future, and that I also think that 50 basis points in store for the next rate hike, but that's still a lot. Interest rates are still high. And if you remember what Powell says, he's going to get interest rates higher, and then he's going to hold it for months. And we're talking about easing maybe in 2024, and the market already with rates where it is going to break. It's breaking. So I think this is a great opportunity to sell some stock. Actually, I mean, if this breakout, if the Dow leads the way up and we have a further move up, yeah, don't fight the tape, but don't be an idiot either. I'm going to sell into it. I don't own many mainstream stocks. I own a bit, and I'll be trimming those. And to be honest, I might even close the whole position if we break out of this, because to me it's absurd. I think it's going to be a bit like this moment over here where everyone got really excited. We broke out, we went higher. I remember all the way up here, people were saying, "Oh my God, we're going all to new all-time highs." No way. And I sold a lot of my stock. And I'm talking about stocks that I believe in long term, just because I knew it'd be taken down with the market. And I think now is a good selling point in Dow Jones. But if we go up here and the Nasdaq's at its little 282 or whatever, or 284, and the SPY is all the way up here, even higher, that's it. I'm getting rid of all my mainstream stocks. And I may even lighten up my energy commodity related stocks, because I think we just go back down for the long term, actually. So there you go. The Russell also pretty strong. I'd call it between the SPY and the Dow Jones. I'm looking to break out of this. And then, well, you can see that the trend lines I've drawn. So, oops. So first resistance would be here. I always have to adapt these according to the days. And next one would be there. And obviously next one would be sort of here-ish. but pretty strong, a bit like the SPY, a bit like the Dow, sort of in between both. Um, but what's strange when I'm looking at the VIX is yesterday was a pretty decent day. I mean, we're talking about 1% up day overall, and the VIX was down, not even 1%. Okay, it was down, but I'd expect a bit more downside, especially on how weak it's been for a long time. Look how many red days. So that was interesting, but it wasn't green, so it wasn't that much of an anomaly. But I just feel like VIX is losing its weakness. Now let's move very quickly to the rates. They were up, Okay, look at the 1 year, basically at all-time highs. Not all-time highs, but highs of the years. The 2 year also just I mean, it's been higher at some point, but basically all-time highs, looking to keep going higher. The 5 year almost going to make new highs. The 10 year, the very important 10 year, basically on its way to make new all-time highs, and that's despite the dollar's weakness and the market's strength. You know, the dollar is weak, has been weak for a few trading days, and the yields keep going up. The market is strong, yields keep going up. So it's almost like yields will keep going up no matter what. They'll have a few pullback days or whatever, but they're going to go up. And what happens when you got the 10 year making new all-time highs in 1 or 2 days? You know, I mean, like the market's gonna, I know the market's been going up despite that, but when the 10 year makes new all-time highs and that hits everyone's screen and radar, I mean, that will probably be in 1 or 2 days, which will probably equate to the SPY hitting its resistance, the Dow sort of hitting its resistance here today or tomorrow, etc., etc. And let's see if the Nasdaq probably can't even get up here. Maybe if there's a big, push up in Meta or whatever, it may be able to do it. But the point is, I think when we get to the next resistance point in all of these um, indices, is about the time when the yields will be testing their highs, and I think the market goes down. So German yields also going up. Italian may reach their peaks. British not so much, nowhere near as close, but still moving back up. Obviously, they had their massive shift in government policy, so that counts for something. But otherwise, US yields, which are the most important, very close to making new highs, and that'll take the market down, in my opinion. So, selling opportunity in the markets. Looking very quickly, the dollar was weak yesterday. It's a shame I'm doing my video in the morning, so it's sort of a bit weird. It looks green, but it was red. Yesterday was this red bar. And when I say, oh, yesterday's moves or today's moves, that's also a bit hard to adapt to. But anyway, dollar came all the way down. It's sort of hitting a bit of support here. You can see the lines I've drawn, they're pretty accurate in my opinion. We're getting in this tight pennant. Yeah, the yellow still counts, so that's sort of support zone. This yellow comes a little lower now. So, support resistance. Let's see if the dollar breaks down, then we're gonna go lower. You've got this next level here. I think there's 105-ish. I think it would be 108, the immediate support, and then maybe a bit of a bounce, but that's just immediate support. I think you'd have a little bounce and then move lower. I don't think it would flush this ascending line and then just sort of come back up. It's possible, but I don't see that happening. But what was interesting, again, I'm picking up all these little anomalies. Obviously, all the currencies sort of acted favorably. So, euro was up yesterday. You can see that move. Forget this red bar today. It was up because the dollar was down, etc., etc. Everything worked in correlation to that. But what I found interesting, and I'll move straight to commodities, is the fact that despite the dollar being down yesterday, gold was also down a bit. Nothing special. Gold and silver were down a bit. You can see those red bars. Now they're a bit down more. And the same with all the commodities. They didn't sort of act inverse to the dollar. And I should have thought about this earlier, but actually, I feel like the move in the commodities on Friday, the huge move up, that was actually related to China, maybe more than the dollar. Bit of both, obviously, because the dollar was down pretty big, 2%, I think it was. But with China also, because China, there were the rumors of it opening up, and commodities love China opening up, which is why you got copper and obviously also gold and silver going up. So that was something I should have picked up on. But anyway, obviously the dollar always counts, and so with yesterday's move of the dollar going down, you'd expect maybe gold to be a bit higher. I mean, it was green, I think, at some point, but the thing is, we also made a huge move in both gold and silver, so and it's hit resistance. So it's normal that it sort of retraces or just hovers sideways around resistance for a move higher. So for me, let's see how much gold and silver can drop. And then I'm ready to buy because I saw what I need to see on this big move up. And I didn't sell this. I didn't sell this, which I could regret if it comes all the way back down here. But anyway, I'm playing the long term. And I think the commodities are very strong. And I think a lot of people are going to buy this dip, including me. And then gold and silver stocks, they actually were green, which kind of makes sense because the markets were green and gold and silver were not down that much. So they're just hovering also at their resistance points. GDXJ also looking strong here. So still looking strong. Let's see what happens today. And for me, the most important question is if I'm right and markets drop in 1, 2, 3 days when the yields are making new highs and the markets have hit their next resistance, what does gold and silver do? What do commodities do? What's the dollar doing? Is the dollar following yields? If yields are going higher, is the dollar going to go higher again? And therefore, everything goes back down as it always has done. And then GDXJ is just going back down. I've missed this swing again, which would really annoy me. And if we go higher, is it special for GDX and GDXJ? Do I not sell these zones? I mean, I'm always going to trim a little bit. Do I, if we get up here, do I sell a lot? That's something I got to really think about. And you know what? I'm just going to leave it there because I'm late for work. But I was supposed to do this video yesterday, so I'm doing it today. It's not going to have all those beautiful timeline features. I'll have to do that when I get back. But hope you enjoyed, and at least this time it was quick. So yeah, happy trading this afternoon.